It's time for the Double J podplex, where wrestling lives. So man up and step on in. For all your wrestling news and commentary, here are your hosts, Jeremy and Jimmy.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. This is the Double J Podplex, the one and only, and this is the place where wrestling lives. I'm Jeremy, and alongside me is my co-host, Jimmy. Jimmy, what's going on?
Well, only about an hour ago, Uncle Jimmy came back from a lovely evening in Gretna at the courthouse at 200 Derby Avenue. I had jury duty.
I was about to say, I know where you're going with this one.
I was there for entirely too long, and I was pondering a question. This is a question I want to ask the Double J universe. The question that I was pondering was, if human beings like myself and Mr. Bergeron and most of our listeners, if we drink water, does that mean that fish drink air?
That's the $1 million question.
That's some mind-blowing shit right there.
Yeah.
That's what that is.
Yeah, it is. It is mind-blowing.
That's some mind-blowing shit.
You got it.
But anyway, I'm gonna stay as little vulgarity as possible. But I had to get it out, man. You know, I've been moved around like cattle all freaking day. So I'm.
We may actually have to go get a beer after this.
We will go get a beer after this, and it's true.
It's damn true. That's right. It is a beautiful Wednesday evening here in Nolens. And, so we may get a beer after this. I want to have a beer for you because of your jury duty.
I appreciate that, dude.
So, on this episode, we're going to discuss, the results of Backlash. We're going to discuss the Fatal 5-Way.
Five-way.
Right. The Fatal 5-Way that Kurt Angle.
Let that sink in.
That Kurt Angle, made up. And then, we're gonna have, a new, segment of the show called 3 Count Falls.
3 Count Fall.
3 Count Fall. And what that is, we post on our Facebook page, our fans, so to speak, they'll ask us a question, and we'll pick 3 random questions out of the ones that were posted on the page, and we'll simply answer them.
So if you never knew before that we do it for the people, you now know.
We do it for the people. And so we'll get all that. We'll do the 3 count fall at the end to finish out the show. But let's go into Backlash.
Let's do it.
So we had the first match, which I'm not sure why they did this as the first match to start the show off. Actually, wait, no, they had a pre-show match, didn't they?
Yes, I believe they
did. They did have a pre-show match.
They had a pre-show match, that, to be completely honest with our great listening audience, I have absolutely no idea what the hell the pre-show match was. So.
I forgot about the pre-show match. God damn it. Oh well. I mean, it is a pre-show match. But you know what? We'll go back to that if we have time at the end. But we'll go to Dolph Ziggler and Shinsuke Nakamura that started the show off. The actual show.
Right.
Nakamura won that one, and they both put on a clinic in that match.
They both looked extremely. They looked like who they were. They look like 2 extremely talented guys in ring. And, to me, was the match of the night.
Yeah, I agree. That was the match of the night. I mean, simply just because of Nakamura.
Mm-hmm.
And that was his pay-per-view debut.
Yeah, it was. And, well, it was his main roster debut in general.
True.
And, I mean, he looked great. I mean, to come in there and not know a damn word of English, basically, and, put on a show the way he does is nothing short of sensational. I mean, he's a guy who they brought over from, New Japan, and then, of course, went through NXT, and we all know, the work he put in over there, and after Finn Balor leaving, and of course, you know, having to take that main spot, he took it with ease, and yet again, and not speak any English, to have a Japanese pro wrestler, honestly, could be, as of right now, top 2 or 3 guy in the company if he really wanted to be. As far as like a face of the WWE, he certainly could be, and that's that goes without saying. His showmanship, his entrance.
Oh, his entrance is just awesome.
He has all the makings of a great WWE superstar, and
he does.
And starting it off with a journeyman like Dolph Ziggler, was the way to go.
Yeah,
sure.
I agree with that. Yeah, you know, both Ziggler and Nakamura together, you know, I think was a good move.
Right.
Pairing them together was a really good move, and but yeah, they both of their in-ring talents are just spectacular, you know. But one thing I noticed in the match, Ziggler made a very big heel move. Did you see when Ziggler spit in Shinsuke's face?
Yes, I did. Yeah, that was,
when that happened, I said, "Wow."
To me, that was really unexpected.
It absolutely.
As much as you know that Ziggler's has to be a heel right now, it was unexpected to see him go to those lengths.
Yeah.
Although, yeah, I mean, hell, being a dastardly heel, he's doing a very good job. I mean, you want to do your best to make people hate you,
right?
And although hardcore fans never will, he's doing a hell of a job.
Right. Absolutely. And Nakamura is very, very fun to watch. Very exciting. I think he brings something extra to WWE with his strong style.
Right.
Technique and all that. So
it's something very unique. It's something that us on this side of the world hasn't really ever seen.
Right.
So with that said, I mean he's more than just a sideshow that's going to stick around for a couple months. He's going to be a guy that can define the new era. And they keep touting that fatal, I almost said Fabulous Five, that fatal 5-way match as,
We can call it Fabulous if you want.
I guess it could have been Fabulous.
You could.
But they call that, obviously, the winner of that match is like, oh, well, they may be the face of the new era, and this and that and this and that.
Yeah.
They always want to say stuff about, Kevin Owens may be the face of the new era. AJ Styles helped bring in a new era.
Well, he's the face of America.
To me, AJ Styles is the face of the WWE right now. And that's, to me, overall.
Yeah.
But, they always talk about the new era to the black and blue in face.
Right.
And the thing is, the new era started, in my opinion, when the Shield came over. And 3 guys who were super talented. And now you have guys that have to at least keep up. Mm-hmm. And you have way too many of them.
Yeah.
And that's an issue, and we will actually address that issue in a question later on. But,
yes.
What I would like to say about the match is it was way better than most first matches are. And look, they made the right call in Shinsuke winning. They made the right call in Dolph Ziggler doing something that's messed up that's going to continue the storyline going. You have a real live feud between Shinsuke Nakamura and Dolph Ziggler. A sentence I thought I would never say.
Right.
So.
Absolutely. And so the pre-show, real quick, was Ty Dillinger versus Aiden English.
Oh, it was. It totally was. I forgot about that. the thing about Aiden English gets a bad rap as well. Aiden English is actually a very skilled talker. Nothing wrong with him in the ring. The Vaudevillains were the underperformers of the century. Pardon the pun. And, Ty Dillinger is the man's champion. Ty Dillinger is the indie guys champion. Ty Dillinger is the champion of the little guys. Although he's not necessarily a small guy. But he seems like Joe Everyman.
Right.
And with a hell of a gimmick. Look forward to some really great matches with Ty Dillinger in the future. I don't think he'll ever amount to being a WWE champion.
I don't think so either.
But he'll give you a hell of a mid-card IC champion for as long as he wants to do it.
Absolutely.
So it may be a little bit off, a little ways off, but we look forward to that in the future.
Right. And I don't believe Ty Dillinger defeated him with the tiebreaker.
Yeah, he did. What a great move.
It is a great move.
Great move, great name, Great Dane. More
So,
names.
so Jimmy, I have a question for you. Do you vape?
I do vape on occasion.
On occasion?
Vape on occasion. I like vapes that I can choose, Jeremy. That's what I like. Vapes that I can name the flavor.
Right. So now we have a word from our sponsor.
Are you looking for a new bottle of juice, a custom tank, or a whole new setup altogether? Well, we have the place for you.
And that place is Custom Vapors. Located at 1928 Williams Boulevard, beautiful Kenner, Louisiana, is your one-stop shop for all of your vaping needs.
Go ahead and like them on Facebook. That's Custom Vapors with a Z. And go ahead and see our friends Jason, Megan, Rachel, and Big Chad. They'll hook you up with the good stuff. And remember, tell them Double J sent you. But yet again, always remember, at Custom Vapors, if it ain't custom, it's crap.
Definitely just threw the paper on my microphone.
Paper flick.
Paper flick.
Paper flick.
I felt the need. But, so yeah, go check them out. They're good people, and they'll hook you up. So we go to our second match, which was surprisingly entertaining. Right. I actually laughed at this match, not because it was bad, but because it was fun to watch. And that was Breezango versus the Usos for the SmackDown Live Tag Team Championship.
The one thing I want to touch on as far as that goes is truly the fact that Breezango are working right now.
Yes.
They're over with the fans.
Mm-hmm.
And they're a very entertaining act. That's what happens when you have two guys like Tyler Breeze and Fandango who are entertainers.
Yes.
In every aspect of the word, and who can go in the ring as well. That's what happens when you finally give them the keys to the Ferrari and tell them to just go.
Just go.
And to be honest, SmackDown was in a little bit of trouble. Had a little bit of trouble. And they needed another good team. And they found themselves one. So,
absolutely, I agree.
A team that is very unique. And unique in this day and age is something hard to come by, and something that is very welcome.
Yeah.
And, the Usos are a very credible tag team.
Mm-hmm.
Love them, hate them in between. They're a very credible tag team. And, they almost lost to as far as on the main event scene, as far as tag team, they almost lost to some damn rookies.
Right.
So that was interesting to see. It was interesting to see WWE go that route. It's amazing what they do when their back is seemingly against the wall.
Mm-hmm.
When they seemingly don't have any more damn tag teams.
Right.
That are credible. They create one.
Yeah.
And that's what Triple H is so good at.
Very good at doing.
And he did it yet again with Breezango. And although I would have loved to see them take the title, not yet. Not yet. If they do, which I don't know if I want to say they will yet, but if they do, it's going to be not only in dramatic fashion, but it's going to be in some type of weird fashion. May it be, I don't know, Fandango waving his genitals in front of one of the Usos' faces to throw them off. Or may it be with Tyler Breeze using the mop. Whatever it may be, they're must-see TV right now, and they're doing a hell of a job.
What's funny is that you said the word fashion, and they're all about fashion.
They are all about fashion. They are fashion police.
Fashion police.
You know, I actually saw them. They actually had a court case while I was down there at 200 Durban Avenue at the courthouse.
Yeah?
Yeah, they were. They were there. They were there. They couldn't get me out of the damn jury duty, but they were there.
They were there.
Yeah.
Well, some help they were. But yeah, in that match we saw janitors, mops, grandmas, and Bronco Busters.
Them Bronco Busters.
Them Bronco Busters. But yeah, you're right. You know, Breezango, they're really entertaining, they're fun, and they're over with the fans. And, you know, I mean, if you can get me to watch, and I'm like laughing,
Right.
I mean, hey, you know, I'm sold, dude,
Well,
you know?
To me, the two biggest elements, to wrestling are, first of all, it's entertainment, regardless. But the two biggest parts of the entertainment are if you're laughing, if you find it comical,
Mm-hmm.
or if you find it awe-inspiring,
Right.
or being awestruck, so to speak. You know, watching a 5-star match, or watching a hilarious segment with Dwayne Johnson playing his guitar, will get the same reaction from the fans.
That was funny stuff.
That was fantastic. And he said, "No, biatch, you look horrible tonight."
Yeah. Did you see it? Wait, speaking of Rock, real quick, did you see, you know how when they go to commercial breaks on SNL, they'll have like a picture of like the host and...
Yes, was it the one where he had the fanny pack?
Yes.
Yes.
He redid
Yeah.
the photo. Oh, it was great.
That was tremendous. I did enjoy that quite a bit.
It was great.
It's Dwayne for you, man. That's
Dwayne's a
Dwayne
good
for
guy.
you. I'm gonna act like I know him. You know, Dwayne. It's
Dwayne.
You know,
I hope he runs for president. It'd be great.
I'd vote for him.
I would.
I'd vote for him. In a heartbeat.
Absolutely.
You know, he's Double J's candidate.
He
Okay, we're gonna
is.
say
Double
that up
J's
front.
candidate.
Okay, he's Double J's candidate for 20. Not Kanye West. Okay, not
Yeah.
some fake ass.
Yeah, screw
rapper.
him.
Okay,
Screw him. I hate Kanye West.
See, getting me all choked up.
Anyway, yeah. We digress. So, moving on to the next match, Sami Zayn versus Baron Corbin. Sami Zayn was the victor in that one.
Finally gave Sami Zayn a frickin' victory, man.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Sami Zayn to me never disappoints.
No, he doesn't.
His in-ring stuff is outstanding.
The thing I love about Sami Zayn, we've talked about this 1,000 times, is not how good he is in ring. Obviously, we love that, but the fact of the way he sells
Yes.
for another wrestler is second to none. When he gets clotheslined, you'd think he's dying. You'd
Yeah.
think, he's going to the hospital. He is a true showman. He is what Shawn Michaels was, as far as that goes.
Right.
He's the best since Shawn Michaels. He may be able to sell better than Shawn, which is
You think so?
a huge statement.
Wow.
The way he storytells in ring shows all those years being in the Indies. Because in the Indies, you don't have time to make a big ass promo. You don't have time to make these big storylines. You have to let your wrestling do the work.
Go out there and just do your thing.
And
Put it out.
he
Put it all on the
definitely
table.
shows that he is El Generico at heart.
Oh, yeah.
So it's great to see. As far as the match goes, Baron Corbin always is showing up.
Dude, he is.
He shows up in every match he's in. And with a competitor like Zayn, with a rivalry with Zayn, you get two of the best in the business. In ring, in a match. You get two of the best going at it. Not that Baron Corbin is the best wrestler on the face of the planet, because he's not. Because he's a big guy. It's kind of hard to be. But
I tell you what, dude, he can move for his size.
He can move for a big guy, but his presence overall, his signature moves, the Deep Six and the End of Days are incredible.
I love the End of Days. I love it.
And you have the big guy, and you have the underdog from the underground. Great feud so far. I'm enjoying it.
Good mesh of stars,
Happy to see Zayn win.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I'm not gonna. I'm a fan of Sami Zayn and Baron Corbin, so I was kind of. I went either way,
Too, yeah.
But it was a good match indeed. The next match was it was like a 6-woman tag, if you will.
6 woman.
It was Natalya, Carmella, and Tamina versus Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, and Naomi.
Outside of the entrance of Becky, Charlotte, and Naomi, it was nothing special.
It wasn't.
Something you could have shown on Raw, SmackDown, NXT, Thunder. What else they have? Sunday Night Heat or whatever the hell
Right.
it was. It wasn't anything special.
Correct.
It just came to the point where they didn't know what the hell else to do with these girls, and they figured that was the best idea.
Yeah.
You have to find a way to, sooner than later, have Naomi and Charlotte go at it. That's going to have to happen. But what would interest me is Charlotte actually has the face, and Naomi actually has the heel. I think that's coming sooner than later.
Yeah.
But no, you need to have your two biggest girls in the biggest match at SummerSlam.
Right.
And I think it's clearly those two.
Mm-hmm.
You know, no offense to Becky. I mean, Becky Lynch
True.
is always going to put on a show for you. She's always going to be, you know, in top condition, everything like that.
This is the
really
queen we're talking about here.
So, you know,
This is the queen. But no, dude. I mean, you know, I remember thinking, watching that match. You know, I was reminded why Naomi is champion.
mm-hmm.
I mean, she really does do really well in the ring.
She's damn good. She really is. She's damn good in the ring, man. And for so many years, she was under the Funkadactyls, and she's finally got the opportunity to spread her wings.
I like that.
So we at Double
nice.
J are happy to see that.
I dig that. Chicks dig it. And so that match was, you know,
It was nothing. It was really nothing. I mean,
yeah.
I know Backlash isn't a top 4 pay-per-view, so we'd be a little bit more pissed off if this was at
Correct.
Royal
Yeah.
Rumble or it was at
Survivor Series. Yeah.
But it's just almost a filler pay-per-view at this point. But obviously, there's more to hope for in this feud between whoever they decide to put up against Naomi.
Well, speaking of more to hope for, I mean, the ending of this next one was, I was hoping for a better ending on this one, but, AJ Styles versus Kevin Owens for the United States Championship.
Well, when you have AJ Styles and when you have Kevin Owens in the same ring at the same time, you're dealing with two of the best talent on the face of this planet.
Mm-hmm.
However, one of our talent got his foot stuck in the announcement.
Yeah. I don't think that's ever happened.
How do you end that like that? This isn't Doink the Clown.
No.
Versus, I don't know.
No, this isn't Barry Horowitz or anything.
No, this isn't Earthquake versus Yokozuna, okay?
No. This
is the two, if not the two best in the industry, okay? And it was a decent match. It was a good match. It just ended really dumb. And I know that's going to keep up the feud going, and that's what you want to see, but...
Right, yeah, I mean...
In Styles, we trust.
And that is true. In Styles, we do trust. But yeah, Kevin Owens got himself a cheap victory with that. And one question, I guess, that needs to be answered is AJ Styles' leg injury legitimate?
Well, as far as his leg injury goes, I haven't really read a whole bunch on it to see how legitimate that may or may not have been. I think it's more of a show, more of kind of putting on for it.
Okay.
Let's hope not.
Right, yeah, that would be bad if it was legitimate.
Not there for you.
Yeah.
So let's definitely hope not. But man, it's just, to me, it's just more, there's much more to see as far as those two guys go.
Right. But yeah, I mean, that match had potential to be a really good match. I mean, like I said, it was generally a good match, but the ending, Yeah,
the ending was very subpar.
Right. And if that's subpar, then I guess ultimately the match was kind of subpar, so to speak, So, and then now we move on to Luke Harper versus Eric Rowan, who were both formerly of the Wyatt family.
Right.
Well, they are, but, not with Bray Wyatt.
Not anymore, Because we break, you see, in WWE, we break up factions, so we don't really know why we do it.
Mm-hmm.
We just figure it's the best thing to change.
Right, right.
Figure.
Right, and change can go one of two ways, good or bad, and sometimes
it can go one of two ways. You could have bad change with Hillary, you could have change with Obama.
Right, right.
Not saying it's good, not saying it's bad, but damn it, Hillary was going to be bad.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Right.
Except for she was going to stop, and this is true, folks, she was going to stop the Double J Podplex from ever being on air.
Well, no worries for that one. We broke that law. And, but yeah, so Luke Harper and Eric Rowan, that wasn't a bad match. It was okay.
It wasn't a bad match. They didn't have enough time to talk it up. I mean,
right.
You had two guys who can go, two bigger guys who can go, Luke Harper especially.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
There's really not a whole lot to say about the match. It was not a bad match. Two guys went at it. It was a slobber knocker.
As JR would say.
As JR would say. But it wasn't enough.
No.
You didn't build it enough. You made it seem like it wasn't important.
Correct.
And that's what kills, feuds that could be.
Yeah.
We may look this, in our old crystal ball, feuds that could have been.
Mm-hmm.
This would be one of them.
Mm-hmm. And I always say, they underutilize Luke Harper so much. But I'll get into that later in the show. But yeah, so that match was decent. It wasn't bad. And then, last but not least, the match for the WWE Championship. Our new champion, Jinder Mahal versus Randy Orton.
I would like to personally welcome in the age of the Maharaja.
The Maharaja. You know what that means?
Of course I know what that means.
What does it mean? I actually Googled
what it means.
Actually Googled what it meant.
Well, I know what it means, but I would like our listeners to know what it means.
Well, I actually Googled Maharaja, and that means it can either mean a great prince or great king. One of the two.
Well, he is both.
Well, yeah.
He is both.
Yeah.
Okay. For starters, and I'm not going to steal your point, because I know what your point is. I'm not going to steal your point.
Right.
For starters, I will say we all here in the man cave understand what Hunter's trying to do with India, trying to get more and more, not only views, but trying to get more and more Indian guys to come over here.
He's doing what's best for business.
He's doing what's best for business all the way around, and that's all you could ask for. It's a very smart move. The only question being, how the hell do you go from being a mid-carder, and not just a mid-carder, a lower mid-carder at best.
Yeah.
Okay. To being world heavyweight champion. That's a little bit of a stretch for a lot of us. But it's not, SmackDown's been called the land of opportunity. So you gave him an opportunity. You gave him two little guys who kind of look a little bit like him. What do they call them now? The Singh brothers. They were the Bollywood boys for our indie listeners. They were the Bollywood boys in Ring of Honor.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't remember what other promotions they were in, but I remember seeing them in Ring of Honor. But they are now the Singh brothers.
The Singh brothers.
They assist Mr. Mahal, and I think it's a good little faction. It gives him more credibility than being on his own, which he needed because he's not really ready yet. Not saying he can't be, but he's not really ready yet to be this big heel. Although he's a large man.
He is large
and
in charge.
I'm okay with the idea to push him, and I'm okay with the idea to take the title away from Randy Orton. So
I'm actually okay with that.
If you'd like to go a little further with that,
I'm on board with what you just said about taking the title away from Randy Orton. I thought his latest reign was just boring. It's something we've seen 12 other times,
yes.
Right? Yeah, 12 other times, and so we knew what to expect. But this time, I guess it just didn't, it wasn't exciting. It wasn't, I don't know how else to say it, but you know what I'm trying to say.
He's not an exciting champion unless he's a heel. When he's a heel, he's exciting.
Yes.
He wants somebody to beat.
Yes.
Him. Okay.
That's actually the perfect way to say it.
I hate to say it. He is best as a heel or an anti-hero. Which is arguably the role he was playing now. But he's just not an exciting champion unless he's a heel.
Right.
And that is the overall issue with Randy Orton's kind of reign thus far. And we now have a new champion in the Maharaja himself, Jinder Mahal. A talent they finally realize they have. He is definitely a guy that you wanted on your roster regardless. I don't think when anybody would have expected last summer when they decided to re-sign him, that he would be a freaking champion right now. That's obscene. You go from 3MB
to WWE champ.
Maharaja.
Right.
You know, WWE, you go from 3MB to WWE Champion. I tried to make it rhyme, didn't rhyme. But that's fine. That's fine. You get the point.
You get the A for effort.
You're now in the age of the Maharaja.
The Maharaja.
So, Mr. Bergeron, that about wraps up that championship match. It was very, very... It was a surprise to a lot, and there was a lot of us that were like, yeah, okay, we kind of saw it coming.
You know, I am happy for Jinder Mahal.
I'm happy to see something different.
Yes,
you know,
yes, this is a curveball, you know, which...
I like to not know an outcome.
Yes.
You know, I like to not
it's
know
good to not have spoilers, right?
Right.
I mean, well, this we saw coming,
in this day
but
and age, you have so many spoilers of everything.
I mean, I guess we could have seen Jinder Mahal winning it like after he was kind of put into that position, but
even before that, to see him win that number one contender match, the 6-pack challenge,
right? Yeah,
you never saw that coming.
Yeah, right, correct.
And in this day and age, to have WWE still surprising you is a very good thing because they don't do it often enough.
Correct.
You can see a match's outcome from a mile away.
Right.
And they certainly are not doing as much as maybe they used to. They still very much do, but they don't do it as much as they used to, and they still give you big enough surprises to keep you in tune every week.
Right. But yeah, I mean, you know, SmackDown Live is living up to the name, the Land of Opportunity. That's all I can say. But, so congrats to Jinder Mahal. You know, and dude, from what I hear, he works his ass off, dude.
Long live the king, man.
He works his ass off, and he has worked his ass off to get here.
I've heard that from a couple different people.
Yeah.
I've heard something of whatever Heath Slater's Twitter handle is.
Right.
Tweeted out, you know, congratulations, brother. You know, you worked your butt off, yada yada. He was talking to
a lot of people said that
about, you know, how hard the guy actually works, and I don't think anybody ever doubted how hard of a worker he is, and how hard of a worker a lot of those lower level guys are trying to get to where he's at. So not only is he a role model for Indians, or maybe people of color in some way, shape, or form, he is a role model to anybody who is on that lower level trying to eventually get up to the top.
Right.
So he is definitely an inspiration, although he's a heel, which is weird to say, but he is definitely an inspiration, and I wish him the best.
Yeah. And this is why SmackDown is beating out Raw in the ratings right now.
Yet another. Although Raw's trying to make a comeback, big smart move, you know, with Bray going on that side, big smart move, bringing in Samoa Joe, and thanking your Lord up above and your lucky stars that Finn Balor's still healthy.
Yes.
As well as, of course, Seth.
Yes.
Braun Strowman going down hurt him a little bit on Raw, but that's obviously much more to talk about later
right.
as far as that goes.
Right.
But Mr. Bergeron, is it,
well, actually, before we go to 3-count fall, you wanted to discuss the Fatal 5-Way for just a little bit?
Yes, we can do that. We're gonna jump into that.
Yeah, we're not gonna go too far into it, but just
haven't
kind
had one with y'all in about 2 weeks. We're gonna go a little bit longer than the last one.
Right.
That's of course perfectly fine with us because all I have to do is drink tonight. I mean, that's
true.
I mean, I'm technically drinking now. You know,
you are.
So, the Fatal 5-Way I think is a beautiful difference to what a normal championship match is or a normal number one contender match is.
Right.
I am literally at the point right now I can make a case for all 5 men involved to win the title.
You could.
Do I think some have better chances? Of course.
Right.
But I can make a case for everybody involved. I can make a case for Seth Rollins, saying that he's already beaten Brock Lesnar. I can make a case for Roman Reigns, saying, yet again, he knows how to beat the Beast.
And Roman Reigns almost beat him at WrestleMania 31.
Yes.
Until Seth Rollins cashed in.
Correct. And I think Roman needs another shot at that eventually. I don't know if it's going to happen, but he knows he can beat him.
That's the supposed plan for Mania here.
And it's another way of WWE slamming it down our throats yet again. But it's hard to dislike.
Right.
You can make of course, Samoa Joe being the destroyer. Who wouldn't want to see Samoa Joe and Brock Lesnar? I mean, come on, that's a fantasy matchup from back in the day. There's no doubt about that. Bray Wyatt. Why in the hell would Bray Wyatt not do it?
True.
Like, think of a reason for Bray Wyatt not being that main event, other than the fact that they start and stop his pushes. Other than that, a real fact of him not being there isn't.
And no more bugs with him. No more bugs with him either.
No more bugs.
Or snakes that looks like a sperm.
It's the sister Abigail, okay?
Right.
Ooh, that might have been a little too soon.
Yeah.
No, Bray Wyatt has, to me, and I've said this multiple times, he's my favorite character right now. He is somebody who can go as far as he wants to go, as far as they allow him to go.
Mm-hmm.
He does enough on the mic, and he does enough to intrigue you when he's out there. To be not only a main event star, but like easily a top 5 guy. Happy to see that from him. But he, if he's given the proper shot, he will put on a hell of a show against Brock Lesnar.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, our 5th guy, the man who never lost his Universal Championship.
Technically, Seth Rollins never lost it either.
That is a good point. That is actually a very good point. They both lost it to injury.
Mm-hmm.
As far as Finn goes, to me, Finn's the one I want to see face Brock Lesnar.
Yeah,
okay?
I'm with you on that.
I want to see a Finn Balor and Brock Lesnar.
Absolutely.
Mostly because a bunch of us hardcore guys from Ring of Honor, from eras such as that, always wanted to see Bryan Danielson, a.k.a. Daniel Bryan, against Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. We always wanted to see that because it's basically a David versus Goliath fight. Finn Balor is the closest thing to Daniel Bryan in my mind. Although he's obviously a little bit more unorthodox than Daniel was. But he is, as far as size, he's barely taller than Daniel Bryan. He's barely taller than me,
You know something funny? I had David versus Goliath written on there for Finn Balor
That's
versus
fantastic.
Brock.
We definitely think
I had that written.
We definitely think the same. But obviously I'm gonna turn it over to you and see exactly what you think. But to me, I'd love to see it as Finn. I have no issue with any of them. I want to say that.
No, honestly,
I think all 5 are deserved.
And I agree.
I think it's a way of covering up the fact that you hurt Braun Strowman. I think it's a way of covering it up, but covering it up in great fashion. So
yeah, I think the promo that Finn Balor and Paul Heyman cut on Raw this past Monday really sold me on Finn Balor.
Right.
And then not to mention, like you said earlier, he never lost his title. I would like to see him win it back, but yeah, it's another David and Goliath kind of thing, the beast Brock Lesnar versus Finn Balor, the Demon King.
Yeah, I mean, in this match, you get Brock Lesnar versus, the Roman Empire. You get Brock Lesnar versus the Eater of Worlds. You get Brock Lesnar versus the Samoan Submission Machine, or what do they call him now? The Destroyer. They refuse to call him whatever.
Yeah.
Apparently TNA may own that. I don't know.
Right, yeah.
But they refuse to call them all that. Anyway, you get big guys versus Brock Lesnar, or you get Finn Balor, who is in a lot of people's mind an underdog. I don't believe that, but a lot of people's mind an underdog to Brock Lesnar. Or you get Seth Rollins, who is not a huge guy, but not a small guy either, somewhere in the middle, who is maybe a taller version of Shawn Michaels as far as body type.
Yeah, yeah.
So you get either a heavyweight battle, or you get, like you're saying, kind of a David versus Goliath type of fight. And I think there's a lot more money behind the David versus Goliath fight. I think it's too early for Samoa Joe, as much as I like him. I think they have bigger plans for Bray Wyatt. And getting back to it, if I have to make an early prediction, I'm going Roman, as much as in a way I hate to say it. Because think about it. You had Bray Wyatt and Finn having their little mini feud that never was. Samoa Joe and Seth Rollins still have unfinished business. You make the easy call. You send Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar. You still have those 2 other feuds. Simple as that.
Yeah, I mean, I see where you're going with that.
I mean, you have unfinished business. Now, do you pick up on that now or later? Because it's going to be picked back up on. Samoa Joe and Seth are not done. Finn Balor and Bray is a feud that never was yet.
Mm-hmm.
So, as was Bray Wyatt and Brock Lesnar, by the way. That was a feud that never was. That was in the works, but for whatever reason didn't end up happening. Maybe one of our lovely listeners can let us know.
Right. I remember on Raw one time, Brock was in the ring and the Wyatt family surrounded him.
Right.
And they beat the crap out of him. I remember that.
Yeah, and it did, of course, bookings like, oh, we have something great and we're just going to not pay attention to that for some reason. But
right.
That may be what we call the Roman Reigns problem. But more on that later on. Yeah.
So now we go to our new segment called 3 Count Fall.
3 count fall.
As I explained earlier, we have the members of our group on Facebook. Just send us the question, and we'll answer it. We'll pick 3, random 3. On this time, there were only 3 questions submitted,
Well, right, but the way we're normally going to pick it, we're going to have as many of y'all want to send us in questions. We, first of all, would love to answer them. We put them on a dartboard, okay? We take darts, and we get very, very intoxicated. And realize we're not going to hit the dartboard, okay? Cause
blindfolded also.
Blindfolded. And we're not going to hit the dartboard, but wherever our darts are closest to, we choose you, Pikachu.
Yes, I like that. So, the first question, actually the first and second question, they're from the same person, Dustin Dene. I went to high school with him. Go Raiders.
He's got a pretty smile.
And he had dance moves too.
Really?
Really awesome dance moves.
Man, I hope he can meet a little later.
He was the highlight of all the dances.
That's good.
He was the highlight.
That's good. We have a dancer asking us questions.
Right,
okay?
Right. So his first question...
You might have to go to Dancing with the Stars, because God knows there's no more stars over there. So
right. So Dustin, you might want to get up on that, on the Dance with the Stars. We'll vote for you.
Hey, as long as you're getting up on something.
Yeah. So the first question he sent in was, when do y'all think Asuka will make her main roster debut? So I think she'll come in around SummerSlam.
Mm-hmm.
You know, obviously we don't know the correct answers here or accurate answers. We're just kind of taking guesses at this one. I'm going to go ahead and guess and say SummerSlam in August.
You know, it seems like there was a lot more talk about this come WrestleMania last year. There was a lot more talk about Asuka maybe showing up in the Woman Battle Royal, whatever the hell was going on.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot more talk about it then. Now the talk has died down. That is going to be a question that many people ask and want to know the answer to, obviously. That's why you ask questions you want the answer to. But I do believe, I don't believe you're going to see it till WrestleMania. If not after. You're at the point in time where you have a decent amount of good female professional wrestlers on both Raw and SmackDown. In NXT, although NXT builds and builds and builds, they're like Alabama. You don't have anybody on Asuka's level in NXT. You have Ember Moon, who's close, but she's still a good bit off. Ember Moon is not somebody yet that can carry that women's division in NXT, which is why I say it's WrestleMania at the earliest. You still need to develop her, and you need to develop more of your younger female stars in NXT. Because obviously that's Triple H's baby, and he wants his brand to live on.
This is true, yeah.
They will. But I don't think it's at that point in time yet. You also deal with the fact of Asuka being undefeated. Which
she broke Goldberg's record.
Record about as quietly as it could possibly be. It's almost as quiet as when Taker lost to Lesnar at WrestleMania. It's almost that quiet.
Oh, that was quiet.
But having that to do as well, it's just, does she lose that streak before coming to WWE? And I don't think she does. I think you need to develop a credible challenger for her. And I'm not saying there are incredible girls on the main roster. There certainly are. There's numerous ones. But who is going to be that girl to take her on and meet her at the pass? Will it be Charlotte Flair? Will it be Alexa Bliss? Who is going to be that girl meeting her at the pass when she comes to WWE?
It's a very good question.
That may be another question.
Right.
But, that's another big question. But as far as when she comes, my answer is going to be if I had to pick a pay-per-view, I'm going WrestleMania. However, if I really had push come to shove, I believe she comes Monday after WrestleMania.
Okay.
She comes to Raw after WrestleMania. However, if you don't see her then, I don't know that there's a timeline after that. I don't think there's a timeline now. But if I had to say something, I'd say WrestleMania or the Raw after.
Okay.
Could very well be in the next 10 years. But I'd say WrestleMania or the Raw after.
Okay. That's not a bad answer right there. Actually, no answer is bad. So, but anyway.
This is a Double J podplex where legends are made.
Yeah. So, and the second question Dustin asked was, in y'all's opinion, do y'all think WCW would have bounced back had they not gone out of business?
Damn.
You know, if they would have stayed in the direction they were going, No. Because you know why they had the NWO, which was the greatest thing to happen to wrestling. And what happened was it got so big that all the cruiserweights, you know, Jericho, Guerrero, Benoit, Perry Saturn, Dean Malenko, all them guys, they're like, well, screw this, you know, because
right. What's the point of having us?
Right, because you know it's like everyone was joining the NWO, and you know, so like you know, all those guys that said they were like, well, you know, we're not having fun. This isn't fun anymore.
Yeah,
you know,
we're jumping ship.
We're jumping ship to WWE. And so my answer is no. I really don't, because I'm sure they would have stayed on that path.
Right. Well, you know that the black and white version of it. If WCW kept going, would they have survived? The black and white version of it is yes, because I believe if they kept going, they would have changed their way. To be able to keep going, you have to change what you're doing. You have to fix what's broken.
Right.
And for them to fix what's broken would have mean Vince Russo will never touch the company ever again.
Right.
Eric Bischoff, if he does have a role, is not an on-screen role and is not a top of the top role as it was. Mm-hmm. Eric Bischoff got way too cocky. Although, Eric Bischoff is the exact reason why WCW Nitro was beating Raw in the first place.
Yes.
So let's realize that as well, which was a huge feat in and of itself. But to answer that is, I think it would have succeeded had they not made the mistakes of giving people like Hall, Nash, and Hogan not only big-time contracts, but pretty much do what you want. I mean, they had it in their contract to do whatever the hell they wanted.
Yeah.
That's what Kevin Nash did. That's why Kevin Nash was in the main event picture.
So, like, if Hogan was supposed to lose the title, he's like, no, I'm not.
No, I'm not.
No.
Yeah. They could have easily changed it because of their contract. In the beginning, signing Macho Man Randy Savage and Hulk Hogan seemed like a great idea. And it was at the time. But it's amazing how history repeats itself, a la TNA. You pay your older superstars, and oddly enough, Hulk Hogan was also in TNA.
Right.
But you pay your aging superstars.
So was Nash.
Yes. You pay your aging superstars all this damn money because of name recognition. But you ignore your younger superstars, and you ignore developing them.
Right.
That's the biggest issue with WCW. That's the biggest issue with what TNA was. And of course, we could do a whole hour and a half on both of them. But what I would say, had WCW realized their issues, realized why they were failing, okay, realized why realized why Raw is beating you now. Had they realized all of that and fixed it, had Ted Turner got off his ass and fixed it, and realized that he had a problem, he had to hire somebody to fix the problem, then yes, they could have kept going and they could have competed with WWE till this day.
Right.
But you have to fix your problem.
Absolutely. And we go to our third question, who was submitted in by Logan Messina. He is a mutual friend of mine with another friend of mine. Him and my friend Jason, have their own wrestling podcast as well, called Chair Shots.
Yes.
Go check them out. They're good guys. And,
I haven't listened to them. I really should.
Oh, they're good. I was actually on an episode once.
Oh, well,
except it wasn't with Logan. It was Jason and his brother Charlie.
Okay.
And me and Charlie played like this game, like a trivia game for wrestling, for WWE. And I lost at the last second.
Right.
I lost.
That sounds fun, man. You know, there certainly isn't any, they're buddies of yours. You know, I have obviously no issue with them. Certainly not any bad blood in any way, shape, or form.
Right.
I wouldn't mind listening to them.
Absolutely. Good people. But, so his question was, what current wrestler on the WWE roster do you think is not living up to the character potential currently?
Well, there's a couple names that come to mind, but one that I think deserves the most talking about, one that I think since his debut, has never gotten not only the push, but the recognition overall that he deserves. Mm-hmm. And that's Sami Zayn.
Okay. That's a good answer. Good answer.
The underdog from the underground.
Mm-hmm.
he just gives you everything he has, a la Dolph Ziggler as well, but gives you everything he has every night. Every night he's going to give you the best of the best of the best of the best of the best.
Right.
WWE's refusal to put any type of title on Sami Zayn is
heartbreaking.
despicable. That is incredibly ignorant.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have an overload of talent? Of course you do.
Yeah.
Of course you do. But you also have another damn promotion. The fact is WWE is terrified to send guys back to NXT. It is your learning ground. It is your proving ground. Send them back, and you can crisscross the promotion. But I can get into that part of it. If our listeners would love to, I can do it again next week. I will get into the depth of what a interpromotion between SmackDown, Raw, and NXT would be. But long story short, Sami Zayn needs more of a push. Sami Zayn is an incredibly talented wrestler. He is incredibly loved by the fans, which is another plus. He sells his ass off. When he gets hit, you think he's having a heart attack. I mean, the guy sells, the guy puts over people. He does everything a worker does. He does everything a worker does. He does everything a main event player does. He does everything an underdog does.
Mm-hmm.
He is Daniel Bryan in a taller form, as far as underdogs go. Like, you talk about Daniel Bryan as an underdog because he was.
Right.
But he's a guy that does not get the recognition he deserves. Hopefully he will at some point in time, which is amazing. When he was in a company for Triple H, NXT,
Mm-hmm.
he was the NXT champion, and he was featured night in and night out. All of a sudden, you move up. You're in Vince's company. You're not a sideshow, but you're okay.
Kind of looked over a little bit.
Yeah. Passed over for everyone else.
Yeah.
So, my answer is Sami Zayn. You know,
That's a good answer.
play that funky music, white boy, you know. Play me some ska.
Oh, dude, I love ska.
Just in case you weren't sure of how white we actually are.
A little side note. My very first concert I ever attended was the Mighty Mighty Ballstones.
You know, it's good to know.
Good to know.
That is good to know.
So I like me some ska music. I love Sami Zayn's theme.
You know what? I like scotch.
Scotch. I see what you did there. Scotch. I see that.
Ska and scotch. Hopefully I have some
Scotch.
scotch in my belly in about 20 minutes.
20 minutes. Well, yeah, give or take. So my answer to that question, I'm going to go with Luke Harper.
Oh, that's another great pick.
I think, just like what I said earlier, they underutilize Luke Harper so much. The dude is big. The dude can move. He's quick. And, I think, I like him. I'm going to go ahead and assume that the majority of the WWE universe likes him. I guess they just don't know what to do with him.
Mm-hmm.
When you continually put him in matches with Eric Rowan, it kind of gets old.
Well, the problem with, obviously, like I was saying earlier, like we talked about, was the issue with him and Eric Rowan, they didn't have enough of a promo. It seems like they don't give Luke Harper these high-profile matches. They don't give him these matches that even make really sense. Outside of, we both were in the Wyatt family. They didn't build any type of story. There was no story. And yes, you could build stories in the ring, which they did their damnedest at Backlash.
Yeah.
But, yes, he's another guy who, honestly, could be a main event player.
He could. And dude, he was so close.
As athletic as any big man you've ever seen.
Right. I agree. Dude,
and,
he was...
he's a scary presence. He can run that mic. Look, Bray Wyatt, like, as I've said before, I don't know if there's ever been a better guy on the mic than Bray Wyatt. But Luke Harper, when he was in the Wyatt family, when Bray stopped talking for a second, there's a reason they allowed Luke to talk. Because he can freaking talk. Whether he was Brody James in the Indies, or whether he's Luke Harper now.
Yeah.
He is a primetime player. And he's not being treated as such, so I agree with you.
There was, I think it was a couple months ago, when he was close to getting the No More Contendership to the, I think he lost the match to AJ Styles? Didn't he?
Yes.
I remember he was so close. And all he had to do was win a match, and he was, the No More Contender, and he just didn't do it, But,
right.
I really hope they do give him more opportunities in the future to really boost him up. Like I said, he's a big dude, and he can freaking move in the ring.
Well, two things.
It's a shame they're not using him.
It is a shame. And
Put him with. I mean, obviously because they're on different shows. Put him with Brock Lesnar.
Why not? Yeah, like
I'd love to see that.
Put him against Samoa Joe. See a match with those two. I mean, put it straight up. Put Seth Rollins and Luke Harper. I mean, you can match him up with so many people, and he's rare because you rarely have a big man that can not only sell, but you could rarely have a big man that can put over and make a smaller guy look good.
Mm-hmm.
Other than the other way around.
Yeah.
It's very rare that you can have that, and that's Luke Harper definitely has that. But I may explain it next week. I may explain how the three platforms can work together. That's why people like Luke Harper can maybe go down a little bit. See what he can do in NXT if you make them even platforms. But I could talk about that forever. I'll talk about that at some point.
Right.
What I wanted to ask you, do you know the exact date of Extreme Rules? It's upcoming Sunday?
No, I believe.
But if it's not, I have something. I have something I want to do next week.
I believe it's in 2 weeks.
2 weeks, okay.
I think.
So if it is not next Sunday, so
I'm actually about to look it up right now.
okay, we're looking up the date, folks.
We're looking it up.
I'm not going to pause because I don't feel like pausing.
Yeah, we don't feel like pausing. We don't have time to pause.
Well, we don't have time to pause. Anybody got time for that?
It is in 2 weeks, June 4th. So that's not
4th.
this coming weekend, but the next.
Okay, so not this coming weekend, but the next. So obviously, we would do our predictions next week.
Yes.
Okay. What we're going to do the week after that, the week after we do our predictions, what I want to do is something that Bleacher Report does and a couple other promotions. They normally do it at the beginning of the year, which starts the beginning of WrestleMania year, the day after WrestleMania. But we're going to start a little earlier. We're going to start the day or our show after Extreme Rules. We're going to do a draft.
A draft?
We're going to redraft SmackDown and Raw. You're going to be running SmackDown. I'm going to be running Raw. We're going to pick our top 10 guys. And we may even throw in a little fantasy and a little wager here and there. We'll figure out how the fantasy points work. And at the end of our season, we'll see who does better. We have no idea where the hell this is going yet. But it's a concept.
It's something. This is a trial and error.
It's a trial and error.
Type thing.
Run. I think it'd be a lot of fun. I think y'all would enjoy hearing who we would pick first overall, second overall, third. Who we would pick that early, how highly we think of these fellows, who we would not pick, who we snubbed. That's all still to come on the Double J Podplex in the next couple of weeks. As for, Uncle Jimmy Warren, I would like to thank all of you for listening once again. I'm going to grab a beer. I'm going to grab a scotch. I meant to say one scotch, one bourbon. I could have still said that.
Yeah.
I still said
George Thorogood does it better than you.
Beer. I still could have said it and I fucked it up. That's fine. Anyway, I have to urinate, so I love y'all. Take it easy, babe.
Yeah, Jimmy's out, but I'm still here. But so yeah, I mean, we want to thank all y'all who do listen to our show. We try to do this, at least once a week for at least 30 minutes. And, we love doing it and we hope you love listening. So that does it for us for tonight, but we will see y'all sometime next week and we're out.
And you can't stop the shining stars in beautiful Puerto Rico.